Next is Yvette Simpson, attorney, college administrator, director of pre-law program, Miami University, a JD University of Cincinnati College of Law, BA and BS, Miami University, YMCA Rising Star board member, Business Courier 40 Under 40, and Urban League board member, Yvette Simpson.
I'm a Cincinnati native, and I have the unique ability to relate to the whole of Cincinnati based on my background, and I think that should be our first priority, making sure we're representing all of Cincinnati. I'm going to approach city issues with vision, planning, and action, and I think that's an important thing for us to consider on council going forward. My three priorities are job creation, neighborhood development, and increasing the efficiency and accountability of our city government. The first is job creation. I think we have to leverage the organizations we currently have to develop and retain large businesses. We have invested a lot of money in the Port Authority. I think it's going to be the government's job to make sure they're accountable in the investments that they're making, and that they're using those resources to better our community. Second, small business development. 80% of all new jobs will come from small businesses, but the city doesn't have a comprehensive plan for developing and retaining small businesses. And so I'd like to create a small business task force with stakeholders to talk about creating incentives, assistance, and support for small businesses so we can create new jobs. Neighborhood development. We have to work better with community councils. I'm proposing that we create a citywide values and needs assessment that can look at the unique needs of our neighborhoods and making sure that if a community has many challenges with public safety, we create policy for that neighborhood in that area. If community development is a priority, that we develop that as well. We also need to make sure we're working with our partners like CPS to use the resources like rec centers to take the educational experience and extend it into the entertainment and engagement experience that happens in our rec centers. I have many ideas around that. And then finally, increasing the efficiency and accountability of government. We have to work more closely with the administration and not just around budget time. City council should be concerned with the what, and the administration should be concerned with the how, and we've got that flipped right now. So I look forward to your questions. Thank you. Okay, so I was the first in my family to go to college. I was raised with very little, and I was raised by my grandmother without my mother or my father there. My sister's here, so I want to make sure I acknowledge that. I think that's been just a part of my life. And, the way I approach it is with vision, planning, and action, right? So I was 8 years old when I decided I wanted to be a lawyer, and that was unusual because nobody in my family before me had gone to college, but I created a plan. I focused. I had the help of many people who came alongside of me. When I saw distractions, I did not, move away or move away from my plan. I focused on it, and I accomplished the goal. And I think that's Cincinnati's story right now. I think we're in a really challenging time, and we need someone with experience to be able to look ahead of our challenges and to make a plan to get us beyond it. So I'm uniquely prepared to deal with obstacles because of my personal situation. Thank you for that question. I said in my introduction that I believe we need to work more closely with the administration, and I think part of that is realizing the role of council is to determine the what. What is important to our community? What do we want the result to be? And the role of the administration is to determine how we do that, meaning the financial piece of it. Now, of course, if there are glaring inadequacies, then council can curb that. So my proposal is that we develop a policy budget at the beginning of the year that announces what council believes are the top priorities for our city. And then we work with the administration to develop the how. How do we then accomplish that within the means that we have? The approach we have now where we start with the recommendations in the middle of the year from the city manager, and then you have very little time at the end of the year for council to then determine how many pencils or how many phones or how many police officers we need to be able to fit in that budget. I think it's just a little backwards. So I'd like for us to get ahead of the budget by having council start with developing the policy and then the administration make the recommendations. I think the streetcar is one example where we had a vision and we had a plan, and then when the action part happened, we got a little stifled. I think in general, the streetcar is a great start for introducing rail to our city and hopefully eventually to our region. And so what I think we have to do is we have to look beyond some of the challenges. And I think our administration has done that in not allowing the challenges to keep us from moving the project forward. I like the multi-phased approach. I believe that if we start to put it down and we start to see the development come, people will love it, and then we'll be able to build beyond that and be able to see rail in our region. I think it helps. One of the things that most people don't know about the streetcar is that it's more accessible than buses. So people with handicaps and disabilities are able to be able to get on and off much more easily than they are with buses. And I'm one person as a YP who would like to not use my car. So it would be really nice to have streetcar to attract young people who believe that we should have rail in our region. And I'm a new candidate for Cincinnati City Council. As I said before, I'm going to be approaching city problems with vision, planning, and action. And I gave you a little bit in the questions about why I'm uniquely prepared to be able to do that. In addition, you're going to get my passion, my energy, and my perspective, which I think is what we need right now. So I hope to have your support. Thank you.